Sophie Turner, Sophs, great to speak to you again. So what do you think about this? Over 1 million people have signed this petition to remake season 8 of Game of Thrones. It means you and Maze and the team get another year, you get another payday. What? It's disrespectful? Excuse me? Well, at least I didn't flipping well marry a has-been pop star, all right? Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, because the Game of Thrones fallout is continuing. This isn't going away. More and more people are signing the petition. Sophie Turner has had her say. I'm going to read her quote a little bit later on this video. Before I was going to do this video, it was just going to be about Sophie Turner's reaction, actually. But I found this awesome video. It's like this spoof thing of Bainoff and Wise talking about what they're going to do with season 8 of Game of Thrones. I can't show it to you, but I'm going to play it for you, so you'll be able to hear the audio, but you won't need to see it, right? It's so funny, right? This is two lads of colour, right, wearing wigs and just pretending they're them. It's really funny. They're called Long Beach Griffey. They're absolutely hilarious, really, really talented lads. And I want you to listen to this because it's brilliant.
Hey, what's up? So, what do we have for the final season? Well, here's what we were thinking for the last 6 episodes. 6? What do you mean 6? Yeah, the final season is 6 episodes. How is the most important season 6 episodes? How do we fit everything in 6 episodes? No, it's okay though, because every episode is an hour and 30 minutes of us cramming everything into those 6 episodes. Okay, what are we doing with the White Walkers and the Night King? It took Winter 8 seasons to come. It's finally here. What's going on? Night King dies in the final episode? So, no. Actually, he dies in the 2nd episode. How? Arya Stark, stabs him. Female representation, inclusion, feminism in Hollywood. Well, does the battle at least last for the first 2 episodes? No. It lasts 1 episode. About 35 minutes. What the? 8 seasons of anticipation gone in 1 episode. Pretty much. But hey, Cersei. What are we doing with Cersei? She dies in a cave that collapses with Jaime by her side. So you're telling me the #1 piece of shit who's been an asshat throughout the entire series, from day 1, most hated, from day 1, a total bitch, from day 1, dies in a fucking cave? Yeah. So no closure between her and the Starks. Nah. She couldn't suffer a more violent death. Arrow to the face, skinned alive, red wedding, part 2, gutted to death. Okay. I'm just gonna... What the fuck is this? Game of Thrones season 8. No, it's not. This is shit. This is hot garbage. This is The Walking Dead. Don't say that. That's what it is. You Walking Deaded this whole season. Walking Deaded it. Stop saying that. Well, that's what you fucking did. You fucked up an important season, just like the fucking Walking Dead fucked up every season after the 4th season. You fucked us. You fucking fucking dead us. This season is trash. It's rushed. It's a disappointment. This final episode better blow my fucking mind, or fucking Dracarys. Fucking fuck!
Oh, that was hilarious. Hilarious, I tell you. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I just discovered that just as I was about to record this video. And you know what? It sums everything up. So, as the fallout continues, how did we come to this? Now, as you know, I've come here and I've told you that I think it's an okay season. I thought if you like the final season, that was a good bookmark. But if you didn't, you're going to be calling it out. And I like what they did with The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead was a great show and they destroyed it as well. Because I don't understand. Well, I do. I think the self-consciousness of it being a very popular show in this final season was part of the problem. A very little problem. There were bigger problems. The biggest problem were Benioff and Weiss, and I'll talk about them and their offer to go and work and do this Star Wars trilogy. I think that's a big element of this, right? But I think what you get here, when you're a little show and then you become a big show and you're self-conscious of it, and you basically take what the mainstream want and give them it, rather than giving it to the fans who have supported you all this time. But in terms of Benioff and Weiss, I think this is what I'm going to guess happened. They were made the offer by Disney to write and construct this Star Wars trilogy. I think we were all excited about that when their names were thrown into the ring, and they said yes. I am assuming that Disney wanted them to start on that project pretty soon. And I think what happened was, before they had that offer, we probably would have taken Game of Thrones to season 10. I think once Disney got involved with them, they were rushing them. It was either yes or no, or you can't do it. And I think Game of Thrones was sacrificed for Star Wars. That's what I believe. And I think quite a few people are saying to me, yeah, you're not far off the truth now. And with the people I know, that means I'm getting very warm. So, Game of Thrones was really betrayed. This show should have gone for 10 seasons. It's a great number. It's a great landmark. They could have, fleshed everything out a lot better. As I've said before, the thing that stuck, it kind of really hurt for me, is Cersei. As these guys go, this is the bitch from season 1, right? She's done so many bad things and there's no payoff. There's no, Cersei versus Sansa, or Cersei versus Arya, or Cersei versus Jon Snow. All the hurt she caused the Starks, and that's it, But it was not just the way she died. She barely had any screen time. She barely had any dialogue. It was a ridiculous final season, and I honestly don't know what they were thinking of. Now, there was this chat earlier this week by one YouTube saying that, part of the reason for it going wrong is because I think from season 6 onwards, was it? There was no more books to adapt, and that is a problem. Because if you're used to adapting a film or a TV show from a book, and then you've got no more pages, and then you've got to make it up as you go along, which is what storytelling is. But when you haven't been doing it, it's not your baby. It's not coming from your mind. It's very problematic. Now, obviously, George R.R.R. Martin would have consulted with them what's in his mind, but how much content has he even written down on paper? So this is the whole problem here. There's lots of issues here. But as writers, if they're as talented as everyone says they are, and when you look at what they did, but then they're working from George R.R.R. Martin's content. So they're, as we've said before, they're good at adapting something, but maybe they're not so good at coming with their own story. So I think what this did is showed that these guys are not very good storytellers, but they are really good adapters of other people's content. So basically, they've been shown up to be a couple of talentless people, and that's not me insulting them, that they can't come up with their own story. They can only adapt somebody else's story brilliantly. And that's the thing. They've been shown up really for what they are. And that's a big problem for any Star Wars fan, and I include myself in that, because unless they're adapting somebody else's material, we're going to be in trouble here. Now, I'm just going to pause this really quickly so I can find that article where Sophie Turner says anyone who signed that petition is disrespectful. Yo, hello, I'm back, yes. Sophie Turner slammed Thrones Backlash and a disrespectful petition to remake Season 8. The final season of Game of Thrones proved to be the most polarizing run of episodes the show has ever seen. Each week, a different plot twist or story development provoked outrage from Thrones fans, whether it was Arya losing her virginity to Gendry. I didn't care about that. Actually, I forgot. I actually never realised she never had sex before, but that is true, actually. Missandei being executed by Cersei, or Daenerys burning King's Landing to the ground. Hang on. Oh, yeah, sorry. Missandei, I don't know all their names. Oh, yeah, I get it now. Daenerys burning King's Landing to the ground. The backlash resulted in an online petition requesting a Season 8 remake. The petition, which blasted Thrones creators D.B. Weiss and David Benioff as incompetent writers. We've just been talking about that. Right, went viral with over 1.2 million signatures and counting in a post-finale interview with the New York Times. Sophie Turner put the petition on blast. All of these petitions and things like that, and I think it's disrespectful to the crew, the writers and the filmmakers who have worked tirelessly over 10 years and for 11 months shooting the last season, Turner said. Like 50-something night shoots. So many people worked so hard on it. And for people to just rubbish it because it's not what they want to see is just disrespectful. Here we go. Turner said she was not surprised there was backlash. People always have an idea in their heads of how they want a show to finish, the actress said. So when it doesn't go to their liking, they start to speak up about it and rebel. Rebel! Like we're a bunch of little people, right? Hilarious. Turner added, the thing about Game of Thrones that's always been amazing is the fact that there's always been crazy twists and turns, right from season 1, with Ned's beheading, so Daenerys becoming something of a mad queen. It shouldn't be such a negative thing for fans. God, it's a shock for sure, but I think it's just because it hasn't gone their way. Basically, I didn't really mind her doing it, but I think people don't mind her going mad queen. It's just that it wasn't fleshed out, but it kind of was fleshed. That's not really my issue. I'm fine with that. But obviously, if you're not, that's up to you, innit? Isaac Hempstead Wright, who plays Turner's sibling on the series, shared a similar sentiment with The Wrap, saying, I think the petition is just kind of weird, juvenile gesture. It's so irrelevant to start, oh my God, fans who pay their subscription to HBO and now irrelevant to remake a series. But I'm trying to put that stuff out of my mind. It's just nonsense, really. It's amazing. They all live in this little bubble, right? And it really, what do they think is going to happen? Because they've basically told us, the people who have to pay to watch a whole network just to watch one show, that we're irrelevant and we're stupid and we're juvenile. Turner also weighed in on a controversial scene from earlier this season in which her character Sansa said her history of emotional and sexual abuse helped her become the powerful woman she is today. The moment occurred in the final season's 4th episode, last of Stark's during conversation between Sansa and the Hound, Rory McCann, who told Sansa she could have avoided all the physical and emotional pain she experienced had she left King's Landing with him back in season 2. Sansa responded, without Littlefinger and Ramsay and the rest, I would have stayed a little bird all my life. The dialogue in that scene was widely panned by television critics and even drew fury from Turner's Dark Phoenix co-star Jessica Chastain. You see, it's not just the fans, is it? I can't stand Chastain, by the way. You can tell she just hates blokes. The Oscar nominee reacted on Twitter by writing, rape is not a tool to make a character stronger. A woman doesn't need to be victimised in order to become a butterfly. The little bird was always a phoenix. Her prevailing strength is solely because of her and her alone. See, these people are fucking crazy, aren't they? They really are. I obviously think that's not a message to spread, Turner told the Times about the scene. But I don't think that was the intention. It was that she was strong in spite of all of the horrific things that she's gone through. Not because of them. She's had resilience since the very beginning. And despite all of these awful things that happened to her, she's kept that resilience. Sansa, to the core, is resilient and brave and strong. And that's had nothing to do with her abusers. See, this is really funny. This is really funny because Sansa's one of those spoiled little teenagers. So when we first saw her, she's 13 years old, right? So they all go to King's Landing and she looks up. She looks up to Cersei. She wants to be like Cersei, right? And she fancies Cersei's pretty cool son, right? Yeah, and because of all that, ultimately, her dad gets his fucking head chopped off, right? And guess what Sansa does? She denies him. She denies him and sides with them, right? Basically, and then this character, she's abused by, what's his name? What's his bloody name? Joffrey, right? God, that would have been embarrassing if I forgot that, wouldn't it? But yeah, so Joffrey, right? He abuses her, he treats her like shit, and in the end, she escapes and she does her own thing. She, Ramsay Bolton finds her, he abuses her. But it's kind of funny how she said how strong she is to survive it. She only survived it because she was fucking rescued. I mean, you talk about Littlefinger. I mean, Littlefinger was an arsehole as well, wasn't he? Because he sent her to Ramsay Bolton. But the thing is, the whole thing is, when she actually gets back up to the north and she becomes kind of the Queen of the North, the only reason she's Queen of the North is because of her parents, not because she's strong and because Arya isn't interested and we know that Jon Snow is banished, right? So, and obviously Bran is now the king. So the whole thing about her being strong and resilient, she's not actually that resilient of a character. I always forget her bloody name, but Brienne, that's it, I got her name, Brienne of Tarn, right? If it wasn't for her, she would have been dead ages ago. So she isn't a brave woman, right? And I honestly, right, it's just a joke. So getting away from the kind of SJW kind of statement by Miss Sophie Turner, who I've always respected as an artist, and I've seen her do videos with Maisie, and she's a great laugh. I like her. But the point is, and the other actor, right, who came out and said, it's nonsense, it's juvenile. When you start accusing people of being juvenile and disrespectful, I have to remind you all of this. Again, everyone working on Game of Thrones, these people who have signed this petition pay a subscription. They pay for a whole channel to watch one show. It's their money. It's their hard-working money. Now, if they're not happy, they have every right to sign a petition to get the show remade again. Now, we know it's not going to happen. I understand. I know that everyone in the mainstream entertainment industry is a bunch of blaggers. You're all a bunch of blaggers. We love the fans. Yeah, you love the fans when it suits you, when you're promoting something, when you want something from them. Now, it's fine. Being blaggers is part of the industry. I understand it. I know how you guys work. But at the end of the day, to go to the media where you're so protected and no one's got the right to reply, by the way, to call people who have signed a petition juvenile and nonsensical, you're being disrespectful. The fans are not being disrespectful. They're the customers. They have every right to speak out. If I go in a shop and I ask for raspberry ice cream and I get chocolate, I ain't going to be happy, am I? So when you purchase something, you have an expectation. Those people subscribe to HBO because of what they had before from Game of Thrones. It was compelling, it was shocking, it was brutal, and to be honest, the final season wasn't anything like that. So of course they're upset, and they have every right to be. As I've said, I'm not a diehard Game of Thrones fan, but I have followed it, and I have enjoyed it, and I thought the final season was okay. But I'm not a diehard fan. These people are. These people have been paying the HBO subscription since season 1. They deserve better from you people than calling them disrespectful. So I think you should wind your mouths in, zip yourselves up back in your bubble, and just be good little children and keep quiet and let the consumer, who is king or queen or whatever right, have their say. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.